in case y'all know anybody that needs a job, won't start their life out in law enforcement or a jail, corrections. We need good people. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay, I'm Sheriff Greg Capers, San Jacinto County Sheriff. I don't have any new information other than the fact that I went home about 4 o'clock this morning. Been up since 6 a.m. Dealing with media requests, so on and so forth. Had no plans of coming in today, but when we had a plane crash in our county, so I had to roll out on that. I don't have any new information for y'all other than if you need. If we have information to push out, we will push out, because I feel like we are partners with the media. Y'all have helped out tremendously in the effort to arrest this individual. We appreciate that. If we have anything, we will put it out on our San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. We don't have a lot of people. We don't have any spare people. So that is the best way that we have come up with to get our information to y'all as quick as possible. So if y'all can have somebody just occasionally check it. If we find anything, we will push it forward, trust me. But at this point, it's all still under investigation for the most part. The District Attorney, Todd Dillon, is going to speak to y'all. So, Todd.
Sure. And I apologize about wearing my sunglasses, but I'm literally staring into the sun right now, okay? So I'm not trying to evade y'all, but so just a recap of what happened today. As we discussed first thing this morning, Mr. Oropeza was booked into our San Jacinto County Jail on one count of first-degree felony murder. Had bond set at $5 million. At around 11:30, Judge Randy Ellisor, who came out and spoke to y'all, magistrated Mr. Oropeza. At that time, Judge Ellisor set 5 counts of first-degree murder at $1.5 million apiece. He found probable cause on all of those. Okay. Mr. Oropeza has been afforded all of his due process rights in keeping with the Texas and United States Constitutions and the Code of Criminal Procedure. I cannot, and I know there's some questions about that. I cannot comment on anything involving Mr. Oropeza's rights, anything like that. That's for the integrity of the future prosecution of this case. As of right now, the next milestone that we're going to be at, as we discussed earlier this morning, is going to be grand jury. San Jacinto County does a direct file criminal method, so we will not be filing an information. This case, at this point, this case will be in the gathering stage. We're still investigating. I am in the process of gathering law enforcement reports from law enforcement agents, troopers, all the way down to deputies. That's their reports, that's their body cams, that's their dash cams, evidence they've logged. We'll also be testing some things, forensic items, crime scene forensics, ballistics, firearms, that sort of thing. This will all take time. However, the next deadline will be the 90-day mark. We anticipate that will be the next mark we will be doing, is presenting this case to a grand jury here in San Jacinto County within the next 90 days. The next scheduled grand jury is at the end of this month. I don't know if I'll have all of the information gathered to the point where I think we're comfortable to proceed with probable cause at that point, but I will try to let our partners in the media know and keep them abreast of that as much as I can, ethically and legally. But that's kind of where we're at, and I'll open myself up for any questions.
The consulate was here this afternoon. Did Oropeza request them? Is that a due process thing?
I can speak generally. So any foreign national has the right to contact their consulate. Just if you or I were arrested in Mexico, we would have the right to contact the American consulate. So everybody has that right. As an extra layer of precaution, I went ahead. I was contacted by the consulate office, and I arranged for them to set up a meeting with Mr. Oropeza independent of his request, just to make sure that was covered. Yes, ma'am.
There's a lot of confusion. Is his name spelled with an S or a Z, or is it interchangeable? It seems to go back and forth.
Sure. Well,
We're trying to be factual.
I understand. So I understand. So one of the reasons early on in the investigation why it was made, the decision was made to identify him as Oropesa with a S, Sierra, was because it basically tracked with his law enforcement contacts and his history. So I agree with you. There's multiple spellings. There's Oropesa, there's Oropesa, there's Oropesa Torres. So that has been a challenge of the law enforcement. There's one person who can answer that question, and it's not me or sheriff, unfortunately. Okay.
Are there any other arrests in addition to Castilla or Nava?
No, ma'am, not currently. Since this morning when I spoke to y'all, and this afternoon, there's been no further arrests in connection with either the hindering or the homicide, Mr. Oropesa. As you all can imagine, we had 225 law enforcement agents that were combing this county, Liberty County, and parts of Montgomery County. There have been additional arrests, just not connected to this incident. Business as usual carries on, even when we're in the middle of a manhunt.
Are you anticipating additional arrests related to this incident?
Well, I will. All I can say about that is we will follow every lead that the investigation gives us. There were some tips that we were basically putting on the back burner because they weren't pertinent to a manhunt. They weren't pertinent to a risk to public safety. Those tips can now be followed up. Of course, we don't. About 200 of those 225 left town, so we're a little bit shorthanded to follow up on all of them. But we're still talking with those federal and state partners that came down, and even though they've gone to their respective home bases, they're still looking into some of the leads that were generated on this, both in connection with this investigation and independent investigations that popped up as a result of their presence here.
So neighbors are saying that he has a 10-year-old kid.
Yes, sir.
Do we know where he is?
I have no information on. This is Mr. Oropesa and Nava's child.
Yeah.
I have no information on where I believe the minor is at this time.
Okay. Have both parents been arrested?
That's correct, Miss. And excuse me for my faulty pronunciation, but Diva Mara Nava is in custody in the Montgomery County Jail right now, I believe, on a $250,000 bond. And Mr. Oropesa, as we've discussed, is here in a $7.5 million bond. So yes, both of the minor child's parents are in custody.
When will she be transported here to San Jacinto County?
Miss Nava? Okay, again, and this is kind of, I'll give you the lawyer answer, and that's it depends. It's going to depend on the facts that are involved in the case. As of today, my understanding is the facts that gave rise to her hindering occurred within the jurisdiction of Montgomery County. So if Ms. Nava was committing acts that constituted the offense of hindering apprehension of a felon in Montgomery County, the proper jurisdiction to prosecute her would be Montgomery County. As this investigation furthers, it may be that there were further acts committed in San Jacinto County. If it serves the ends of justice, we will look at initiating criminal proceedings and prosecution here. But sometimes it is sincerely, it's just duplicative to file the same charge in two different counties. Long story told long, it will depend on the facts that we discover in the investigation.
Quick question here.
Yes, sir.
If there's one thing that you want this community to know, especially the family and the survivors, what would that be? And would you also be looking to for the death penalty with this suspect?
Well, I'm going to take that in two parts. Capital murder is something that none of us should take lightly. It should be something that should be based on the facts and based on the best interests of justice. That's not a decision we should make as a snap judgment. My office will be reviewing the files as they come in. Like I said, we're still collating evidence and making that decision. That will be a decision based on the facts and the evidence and what serves the best ends of justice. As to what I would say to the community, our strength is just that we're a community. And that's what made this case. Law enforcement working with the community. We're not enemies, we're friends. We're neighbors. and when we work together like this, when we understand that this is a person who is dangerous to the public, who has been responsible for a tragedy, that's our strength when we act together.
Does he ask for representation yet? And what's his move? Is it forceful? Have you
Well,
seen a change in attitude?
Well, one,
Behind the bars?
well, one thing, it's inappropriate for a district attorney to question or have any contact with an accused person at this stage. So I cannot say neither myself nor my staff have had any contact with Mr. Oropesa. That's something we keep a kind of a firewall between the corrections officers and district attorneys. As far as I've received no letters of representation for Mr. Oropesa with my office, so I'm not aware of anybody representing him at this point.
The wife was magistrated this afternoon.
That's correct.
And it was revealed in her reading of her affidavit that she delivered a message to his cousins saying that he wanted to get to Mexico and they said no. Is that going to enhance any charges? Is that just part of your investigation? Is there any revelation of his
Sure.
plans to go to Mexico?
Well, I mean, like I said, that's an investigation that's pending over there in Montgomery County. So I don't know if that would necessarily, I'm not aware of any enhancements that fact pattern would necessarily bring. But that would be something that would be of interest moving forward on any pending apprehension investigations we have here in San Jacinto County.
Sheriff, can we ask a quick question?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Any breaking news there?
Earth breaking.
On Sunday, you said that Miss Nava you had been communicating with her. I took it as she was being cooperative. Then we hear what was revealed today in the hearing. Was she playing both sides? What's your read on what she was doing?
Well, my read's really irrelevant. I have not personally talked to Miss Nava. So I was talking to people that were talking to her, listening to other conversations that were going on in the command center, and that was what I was hearing. That's what I was understanding. But yeah, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a social.
Was she trying to play both sides? Trying to appear cooperative with you guys and at the same time?
Well, once again, she was cooperative during one intel briefing that I was in, and then I mean I don't know about anything else. So.
Sheriff Juana Ortega?
Yes.
Juana Ortega, the woman, the aunt that lives on Summer Hollow.
Okay.
Have you all spoken to her, or are you still looking for her and would like to speak to her?
We have not, as far as the sheriff's office. I believe DPS-CID is maybe talking to her. Maybe the U.S. Marshals. I know Montgomery County is probably talking to her for some reason. And I did have a chance to interview, or not interview, but I asked the suspect, and he told me that he spells his name with a Z. So just to put that to bed. But that's the way he spells it, and we've got a document with S on it, or whatever.
This is a question for the DA.
Apparently there are several animals at his house. Is there any plan to rescue them if there's no one to take care of them?
I didn't know he had animals at the house, but that's news to me. But yes, I will get our animal control guy over there. Yes, sir. Just to double verify.
This is a question for the DA.
Okay.
Do you anticipate any additional charges for Castilla beyond the marijuana charge?
We're kind of early on in an investigation phase. There are several. there are several. He is a target of several investigations, but I cannot comment on it until those are probable cause findings made. Okay.
Does your office plan to look at how Oropesa is someone who has been deported from the U.S. and returned to the U.S. at least 4 times?
I think for our purposes that would be relevant merely for bond hearings. That he may be a flight risk, that may be relevant. As to his culpability in the case, it's not really pertinent to that. It's only a bond issue whether he's a flight risk.
How many children did they share?
My understanding is one.
Yes, I believe so.
One is what I'm aware of.
Thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. And y'all check our Facebook, San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office. And once again, the offer still stands there for, we are hiring.
How much you paying, Sheriff? I'll come work for you.
And FBI and federal, are they still still involved in like nitty-gritty details of whatever you guys need to button up?
There's some investigations that are wrapping up.
Yeah, we're still a team. We're still in contact. I've spent a lot of time today on the phone, and they're like, "Hey, I hope you're getting rest." I'm like, "Well, what if you quit calling me?" But anyhow.
Are the people in the airplane? I heard one was airlifted.
Yes, sir.
But no casualties.
No.
Good.
No
Not
fatalities.
at this point.
Yeah.
It was a student driver, and then he took back over because the left side got heavier than the right side, and then there was a problem, and they hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
But they're both okay, or at least when I was there.
Are there
Yes,
any
sir.
plans for any more pressers after this? Or?
This is pretty much it, guys. That's why we were saying, you know, at the point we've done magistration, the next clock is at 90 days. So we're a very hospitable county. You are more than welcome to hang out, but you're gonna be kind of bored, you know. But any other, we've been trying. My office has been trying to field questions the best we can. We try to be open about the things that we can talk about. You're more than welcome to contact me. At the point where sheriff's in an investigative phase, and there's not a public danger at this point, I mean, you know, there's probably not that much for him to report. Not speaking, put words in my mouth, Sheriff.
Bottom line, he's exactly right. And, you know, y'all are going to go forth and find your own stories. Something else will happen, and we'll eventually take over. I don't want y'all wasting your time here if we're not going to come out and give you anything. If it's big, earth-shattering, breaking news, then yes, I will call, or we'll put it on our Facebook. Hey, we're going to have a news conference in front of the sheriff's office, whatever time, blah blah day. Okay, we will not leave y'all out of the loop, because I mean we all work together. It does take an entire community or a village to you know, to recover from what the tragedy we've been through. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all very much.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I just hate. I mean, I know y'all got.